Get your boots on the ground and fight. The Leon Block. Freedom. Freedom of press. Media. Journalists. Journalism. Words matter. The Leon Block. Unite the classes. All power to the people. The Leon Block. Get in line. Are you looking to advertise your business to a diverse and conscious audience? Are you looking to give back to your community or have your voice heard? We are looking for you. The Leon Block. We want to provide people and small businesses with more traffic while connecting more people from all backgrounds, as well as integrating viewers more into what we do. Community is everything. Will you join us in help building a better life for us all? The Leon Block. The Leon Block Independent Media is a grassroots independent media platform by the people seeking to fill the gaps news deserts have created. Left and socialist leaning, we are pro-black, cover stories of police brutality, human rights, environmental issues, racism, and more in a more in-depth way that mainstream media can't, won't, or doesn't provide. The Leon Block. Our mission is to change the way citizens look at media, to embolden everyone to take part in politics and become an integral and active part of their community, to enrich all of our lives, and to combat racism, to change the way we experience our lives. We focus on police-involved cases and incidents of racism, spirituality, world issues and news, history, music and art, and of course environmental issues. The Leon Block Independent Media is a network providing press, arts, and other media and resources aimed to better reconnect those most oppressed. We run daily web shows through social media, via Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and post information whether it's current events or simple memes to make you think. We try to target different audiences. We do not censor anyone, as we seek to provide truth that mainstream media does not. Also check out our podcast available on all streaming platforms. The Leon Block. Like, subscribe, and share. The Leon Block. The Leon Block. The Leon Block. Get your boots on the ground and fight. The Leon Block. Stand up and recognize your purpose. Free your mind. The Leon Block. The Leon Block. Eat the rich. The Leon Block. The system cannot sustain. The Leon Block. Feed your brain. The Leon Block.
Good morning. You are tuning in to the Urban Conservative. I'm Chaz Neal, activist based in Minnesota. And with me today, I have my co-host Jontel Tolan.
Grand Rising, everybody. Grand Rising. Good to be here. Happy Motivational Monday to everybody. As usual, Chaz, thank you for having me. Let's get it.
Always, always. And we are being brought to you today by the Leon Block Independent Media. We are all about transparency, truth, and accountability. The Urban Conservative is all about the news on the streets, gun violence, crime, politics, and how we solve our community's most hardest issues. How can we change our communities for the better? Let's get back to family, community, foundational roots. Let's make sure nobody gets left behind. Shut up and help. Um, and we always uh, start off with quotes. Today is Motivational Monday, um, and quotes today come from Carter Woodson. If you don't know who that is, please use Google. Um, but he says, if has no history, if it has no worthwhile tradition, it becomes a negligible factor in the thought of the world, and it stands in danger of being exterminated. Hmm. We do not show the Negro how to overcome segregation, but we teach him how to accept it as final and just. Uh, and that really had me thinking because everybody knows what today is. It's November 7th. Tomorrow is
Tuesday, the big day.
You can get out and vote, and you have that right. Uh, get out and vote. Make your voice heard. Uh, that is one way to make your voice heard, regardless if you think that it does or it doesn't. Uh, just get out and vote. Get out and be the change, man, that you want to see in your community. So when you go to the ballot, make sure that when you're voting, when you're marking, make sure that person has the same values that you do.
That right there. Because my thing is, if I'm only voting if a certain person aligns with what I want to see take place. Not just because I don't want someone in.
Right. And that's what we're going to see.
That's definitely part of it. But more so than that, I want to see my people win. I want to be represented, and I want my life to be just as easy or hard as the next person and everybody else. You get what I'm saying? Like everybody on the same front.
Definitely.
Yeah. So like when I think of holding these people accountable, I'm thinking about finding the representation that I need to represent me. And if I don't have that, I'm not voting. I want my vote to count. So I'm not going to vote for someone that I don't believe in or like or even want in office or even care about having in office. That's me. Now, with that being said, tomorrow is election day. And if there are candidates that align with what you want to see and the changes that you want, please go vote.
Yeah, definitely. Please go vote. And I sit here and I think about it because is voting for our own kind, does that even matter anymore?
Talk about
because I'm going to show something. We're going to show something next. We're going to get into our first story, and it's out of Gulfport, Mississippi. And this video, it took me back because I have to apologize myself as a black man to Markel Bridges. This is a man that has been out there for Jaheim McMillan, and to hear a police chief talk this way about somebody that's out here fighting for justice, fighting for somebody that's unheard, just sickens me, and it's literally I don't think there's. Yeah, I mean, let's just play the video because it's beyond words at this point.
Still watch them all day. They don't know whether it was shot. I heard them talk shit. I sit there and watch them all day. They bring up every piece of dirt they got on us. They brought by the house for it. They had it up there speaking. Any fucking body that got a problem with the police department, they had them up there. Okay? So when I got ready to leave, the mama ran up on me, and I tell her when I walked out. I didn't come there to fight. I had my overalls on. I very seldom carry a gun. I brought God with me. So when I got ready to leave, them motherfuckers surrounded me. It's Michaela Bridges, the motherfucker on Facebook, talking all that fucking shit. And that's when I stopped and looked at that. He's the big son of the dreadlock. I thought about fucking him up red ten. I just stopped and looked at it.
That's a police chief that said he wanted to fuck him up. Now, if Markel Bridges was on audio saying that he wanted to fuck up the police chief,
Right.
you know where Mr. Markel Bridges would be right now?
Right.
In the Klinger.
Mm-hmm.
He'd have some cuffs on him. But because this old Uncle Ruckus looking ass nigga has qualified immunity and has a slave catcher badge on, he thinks he gives him the right to just say whatever the fuck he wants to say.
Mm-hmm.
So why aren't we getting on a black chief? We'll get on Kyrie Irving. We'll get on Kanye West. But we won't get on other black men that talk shit about other black men, but we'll stick up for white people.
Talk about it.
Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense.
Day in and day out. Or when white men do something really problematic and wrong, we make jokes about it.
Right.
And we still give them passes, and then we move along. When a black man does it, we slander them. We ruin their career. We take their money, label them as crazy or horrible, and we go in on them continuously.
Yeah.
Until the story goes out of style.
Yeah. But what about Jaheim McMillan?
Right.
You know, I see everybody talking about Nike. I don't see nobody talking about fucking Family Dollar.
Why is Nike? Why is it hashtag Nike trending, but hashtag Family Dollar is not? I posted a link. I posted a post with a picture about Family Dollar and about boycotting Family Dollar. There were several people who commented, "What's going on? Why are we boycotting Family Dollar? What happened? Why the fuck don't you know about it, but you know about boycotting Nike?"
Right. Talk about it.
It grinds my fucking gears and it pisses me off. I was insulted that people were commenting. So if you read the comments, you can hear the annoyance in my through my fucking words online.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Do you not know? Why don't you fucking Google it instead of asking me?
Right.
Oh, but there's so many people that lose their lives all the time. Well, you should be keeping up and not keeping up on Kanye motherfucking West people. Pisses me the fuck off.
Celebrity. We care more. And then that's the crazy thing because
I can give a fuck about any of them motherfuckers. They ain't doing shit for me. But guess what? These motherfucking slave catchers are affecting my life every fucking day. I have PTSD because of these motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck about no Kanye West. He ain't do nothing to me.
Nope.
Fuck out here.
No, and Nike ain't doing nothing to me either.
Facts.
But I'm still gonna boycott it because they fucking with my boy Kyrie.
And guess what? They have their own racist origins as well.
Right.
So I support them to
Fuck
begin with.
about no
I
Nike.
don't have to have a problem with Nike because I never was interested, never had an issue with them. Don't wear the shit. I could care less about a motherfucking Nike. I ain't got to boycott them because I was already boycotting them.
Right.
Get in line, y'all. Get y'all fucking shit together. Excuse my language, bro.
It needs to be said though, and that's the whole thing of it is for me is because Why isn't that seen as aggressive?
Right.
You hear that police chief with aggressiveness in his voice.
Mm-hmm.
We're not supposed to be scared of that. But when I go to city council meetings or I go up and talk to elected officials, they always want to be you don't have to get so defensive. Motherfucker, I ain't even said shit to be defensive.
Right. Right.
Or I'm not angry. Because these words, it's the truth. I'm sorry, the truth hurts. Because I'm going to tell you right now, this shit is, I've never, honestly, I will say this, and please excuse the language I'm about to use, but I have never seen so much fuck shit in my life when it comes to the Black community during election season.
Yep.
I'm going to be 100. I am so disappointed in a lot of my Black leaders. So disappointed because we sit there and I see motherfuckers out here endorsing candidates, but we not getting no justice.
Mm-hmm.
We're not getting no reform. And it's not only that, they only want to come out and say something when the police killing us. What about when the police out here misabusing us? Huh? What about they out here violating our rights? Are they not? They're not taking care of the crimes being committed. They're not taking care of our community. But you want us to go vote for the people that got the power to make change, and they don't want to do nothing. They just sit there and say their hands are tied, or now's not the right time. Make it make sense. Because when is the right time? Because I thought it was, if not now, then when? If not us, then who?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because what are we standing for? I don't want my kids to be out here doing the same shit we doing.
Right.
And I'm mad as hell that it took me this long to even be speaking out about it. Because this is shit I should have been doing when I was 18. But yet I was stuck in a system that was chewing me up. And I had to, but you know what's crazy is I wanted to blame everybody else for my problems. I wanted to blame everybody else instead of looking in the mirror and taking accountability for the shit that I was doing. But you know what's crazy is that what don't nobody want to hear? I'll take accountability for my shit. I've done my wrongs, but how was I able to do my wrongs? Because it's failed democratic policy. That's why I sit there and I look now, the quotes that I've been reading, a lot of the quotes that I've been reading, and I really want to give it up because I really want to say this while I'm thinking about it. And I really want to give this man his flowers while he's still here. John Tell,
What's up?
you know, today it hasn't officially been a month, but today is our 4th week.
Really?
Yeah, bro, it's been a month.
Congrats to the Urban Conservative. You.
So, I really, really want to give it up to you. You've made like this shit, like to me, it seemed impossible, man, because this is something that I've been talking about for a very long time. And to see the growth that we together have done and with the people that we've added to the team, I just love what we're doing and excited because regardless, whatever the revolution continues.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And the fact that we're able to educate future revolutionaries, future activists, future politicians, future entrepreneurs, future homeowners, that there is a better way and that we can do this, but we got to do it together and we have to do it educated. So thank you. I really, really, really want to thank you, man. And it's beyond words that there's no anything that I can ever say or anything that I can do to ever repay. Only thing that I can do is by actions and to make sure that we keep this going, this transparency, this truth seeking, and this trend setting.
For real.
And I
Yeah,
really
man.
want to thank you for that.
Nah, thank you because you're helping to I've had a vision, right? And I've been holding on to this vision. I've been manifesting it every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every month, every year. I've been manifesting this shit and just praying that I find like the right people would gravitate to me. And I knew that they wouldn't necessarily be local. I knew that I'd have to find them or the paths would align. And so now the feelings mutual. I cherish the connections because even if like we're creating, we're a part of this movement, but we're going to create a movement of it within itself. This is a legacy. This is information for people to grab on. Period. Whether they're getting it today or tomorrow, or a million people get it 2 years or 3 years or 10 years from now, it's out there. It's out there in multiple ways for people to soak up, think about, and understand. So, sometimes things grow organically, sometimes they snowball. Some people it happens overnight and then it just loses momentum and it never gets that, never people you never get that hype again. And so I really like the fact of being able to gauge our growth and see us grow every day. And that is in part to you and Meg and Leslie and Will and Nikki and everyone else at the Leon Block Independent Media that makes it what it is. I can't thank y'all enough. It's been a hard road, just doing it by myself, and it gets very stressful. But I wouldn't change it for the world. It's worth it, and it's much needed, and we need more of it. So we will continue to grow. We will continue to have more connections being made. You know what I mean? The revolution will be televised, and the movement will not be stopped. This is what we're here for. And like this is motivation on a daily basis for me to get up and know that there's a purpose for me to live. It's to inform people, it's to empower people, it's to make more connections every day. We had Fred Cox's mother, Tanika Shannon, on Freedom for All last night, and that made me look at things in a different way.
Right.
She messaged us and thanked. She said, "Y'all don't know how much that meant to me," and that's something hit. Like, I don't care what is going on in the world or what I'm going through. This is bigger than my life. This is bigger than who I am. This is what needs to be. Is getting this news out and informing people every day and having people like Tanika on the show to share their experiences. This is what brings more awareness to it. And I don't know, something just hit. It just, I don't know, it got me to look at things in a different way when she said that. Other people have said it, but I could feel her gratitude and emotion behind why she said it.
Right.
And it's something that I think is going to change the way that I'm doing this, in a sense of it has so much deeper meaning. And I can see us doing more of a pivot to having more guests on in that nature. And we have the connections, we have the people around us. We've just been so focused on educating you all, which is very important. And we do have more shows coming to you in the sense of education. However, we do have a lot of people and stories and families and stolen lives that we do need to share with you all. So bear with us and stay tuned for the way that we will grow over the next few months. I know I'm going off on a tangent, Chaz, but we are winding down the year and the season. And so, we usually do take a bit of a wind down and a bit of a break from
December to, like the first 2 weeks of January. However, we still will be functioning fully. We still will be in rotation. We still will be doing lives and specials. We will be airing a lot of reruns. We'll be doing a lot of recaps of the year to show you all, in case you missed some stuff, what we've been doing, the events we've been up to, the stories that we've covered. And stay tuned for new revamped things coming 2023. We will be having a lot more growth. This is just the beginning, y'all. So we're really excited for the things that's coming. And as Chaz said, we got a whole team and roster of new hosts, new shows coming at you. And I know you was trying to give me my flowers, bro, but I can't help but give them back, because it's what we do here and what we've created in the past month alone blows my mind and is very humbling to me. And I know I probably sound all nasally. I think I'm getting a little bit old. So bear with me. I'm about to mute myself and blow my nose, bro.
All right. Well, let's take a commercial break and we'll be right back. And we're going to get into some Minnesota politics when we come back.
Bet.
I heal. I read tarot cards, and I'm pretty good at that. I do this amazing poetry that I want to bring. I want to develop this workshop and bring the inner child out in women. And I want to heal the world, one woman at a time. I really do. I want to build a sisterhood. I imagined today when I was in the shower that, oh my gosh, if I travel around the world
Freedom. Freedom. Open up your mind. You have your roots. Free yourself. Freedom. I like this. Do you have your boots? What does it mean to you? Do you have your boots? Do you have your boots? I like this. Get into the new. Alright. You know what you should do.
Ivy.
Yo, 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 yo. We are back. We are back. We are back. Um, man, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. So we're gonna talk about Keith Ellison a little bit. And the first story we're gonna get into actually is from 2016. Is when Keith Ellison was at an event that was hosted by some newspaper here called Minnesota Post, but it's kind of a parody, comedy type shit. But he's talking about Trump. He's even dressed up as him, and he's got his son, who is a Minneapolis council member for Council Ward 5. They're singing, he's playing the guitar or some shit. But it's, I don't know. I find it funny and I'm weird at the same time, because the next story we're gonna get into after this about Ellison is kind of gonna blow your minds a little bit. So I kind of wanted to start it off with some, I don't even know what to call this shit.
I just want straight shooting. If I want to be called a stable genius, I just call my best friend Vlad Putin. Vlad Putin. My buddy Vladimir Putin.
Wow.
Vladimir Putin. I love that Vladimir Putin. But there was no collusion.
Hey.
Just won the vote fair and square. I did the election. I just bought off my latest affair.
Oh wow, yeah.
Robert Mueller. I hate that Robert Mueller. I'm firing Robert Mueller. I'm firing Robert Mueller. What good is 130K? I should have paid Stormy more. You can stop asking about Confefe. That's just Russian for porn.
I'm done.
Stormy Daniels. I miss you, Stormy Daniels. Stormy Daniels. Come back, Stormy Daniels.
Come back,
Stormy. Guy I can't stand.
I'm done.
Even though he voted for me, he called me unhinged and unfit. What is it? Tim Pawlenty. Tim Pawlenty. The proper Tim Pawlenty. Tim Pawlenty. Good luck running on my popularity. I'm a nice, honest man. I hate these national divides. Take those tiki torch guys. Find people on both sides. Both sides. Not five votes on both sides. KKK and Nazis. Nice folks on both sides.
Right. Right. And this is crazy because he wasn't even the attorney general at this time.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't even the attorney general yet. You see that he was a U.S. representative. He had Omar's seat. He was on D.C. So yeah, it's funny that I just sent you a picture. Because it's funny that Keith did all of this. See, now Keith got his own little fucking history, which we all have passed. Now, see, Keith likes to beat women. Yeah, Keith likes to beat women. So while he's sitting here talking about paying other people off, you know, for his little deeds, their little deeds. Why don't he talk about his little skeletons? And they ain't even skeletons in the closet because this is all put out here. This is 2018.
Mm. Mm. Wow. Wow, yo.
Yeah. Ain't that crazy?
Right,
But
so-
this is what we get behind, bro. This is what black people get behind. This is what we're out supporting right now. This is what BLM groups in Minnesota support. So, and this, I don't even, this ain't even got nothing to do about Jim Schultz, his opponent. This is about, because honestly, I think that's all you can vote for. But damn, it's like, okay, so do we vote for somebody that, okay, yeah, he's a corporate lawyer, whatever, never really been in a courtroom. But as an attorney general, doesn't have to be in the courtroom because that's why he's got other attorneys to do that.
Right.
Because Shaw, when during the Chauvin trial, he was in the courtroom. He was with the family. The same thing with Potter. You know what I'm saying? He might have been in the courtroom, but he never got up there and argued.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Debated, whatever they want to, or objected, none of that.
Right.
So because he's like the coach. And that's what people don't understand. So regardless of whatever, is this the kind of people that we stand behind?
Right.
Because we don't like killer cops. We don't like cops that abuse, but why do we like our politicians to do it? Make it make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because the same shit they said about John Thompson, while the DFL got John Thompson up out of here, you could say the same thing about Keith Ellison, but they don't. And that's what's crazy to me. I don't understand it. There's a lot of hypocrisy, and I don't even care if I say that wrong. There's a lot of hypocrisy.
No, you're saying it right. There's hypocrisy and there's delusionality as well. These
But
motherfuckers.
there's a lot of that shit in Minnesota. And this next story, it's about Keith Ellison. It comes from Alpha News. I know people are going to be like, oh, that's right-wing news. She's just whatever. I want to say as somebody that grew up in Minneapolis, and I want to say this, is that grew up in Minneapolis, that just because it comes from maybe right-wing media, whatever y'all want to say, doesn't make it not the truth. Because if you weren't here during that era, shut the fuck up and help. I'm gonna say that because I'm gonna read from this, and these are not my words, but I do stand by some of this from this book, because as somebody that was out here in these streets during the 80s and the 90s as a teenager, I know that there was a war out here. I know why Minneapolis was labeled Murderapolis, and I know there was a war on these streets. So any kind of gang summits now ain't gonna help. Ain't gonna help. When you have the people that were out here causing terror in the 80s and the 90s, talking about they're part of the solution now when they're still part of the problem. Make it make sense to me, people. Make it make sense to me. And this is why people in the community like Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, people like that were murdered because they couldn't shut them up. Wrong is wrong. If we're going to call out these bad cops, we got to start calling out bad community members too. And I don't give a fuck about no target on my back. I don't give a fuck. I want people to know that. My heart don't pump no Kool-Aid. So we definitely got to start having conversations in our community for the simple fact of this shit is real. If people want to believe it or not, this is part of the problem in Minneapolis, and it starts with politicians. And I'm going to read it. So this is from Liz Collins' new best-selling book, and it is best-selling. It's on New York's best time, whatever list they have. But the book is called "They're Lying: The Media, the Left, and the Death of George Floyd."
Oh wow.
The day before Arredondo was sworn in as the chief of police in 2017, church and community leaders held a press conference. They declared their support for Arredondo and took the opportunity to criticize the police union and its leadership, namely Bob. No, Bob is Bob Kroll, who was the president of the union, police union. One of the more vocal leaders was Pastor McAfee, who founded United for Peace with Sharif Willis in 1992. There was also another coincidence the next day at Arredondo's swearing-in ceremony. Along with Arredondo's family, friends, and supporters, McAfee and Sharif were there. Sharif was sitting one row away from Bob. Sharif was likely the mastermind behind the execution of a Minneapolis police officer. He served 23 years in prison for a violent crime and was released just months before the ceremony. And he was welcomed at the milestone ceremony when Arredondo was sworn in as the chief of the Minneapolis Police Department. With all that history in mind, it might be easier to understand how Sharif was arrested in 2019 and almost immediately released for lack of evidence. Sources with knowledge of that investigation who did not want to be identified due to fear of retaliation explained how Ellison, now the attorney general, stepped in and apparently made the charges against Sharif disappear. This wasn't a parking ticket. This was a significant arrest based on a lengthy investigation. Sharif was supposed to be reformed for the second time. Although, given the crimes of revenge and retaliation he has been involved in, MPD officers were keeping an eye on him. Sharif was much older now, but apparently not wiser, as he seemed to be going back to his old ways. When MPD officers carried out a search warrant where he was residing, they found several rounds of ammunition and other evidence of criminal activity. It's illegal for ex-cons to have guns or ammunition, so was arrested and booked. Out of all the suspects arrested in that case, was the only one released in about the time it takes to read a police report. Supposedly, Freeman, the Hennepin County attorney, felt the evidence wasn't strong enough. Ooh-wee.
But that's not a little suspect, just saying. But
right, but the fact that he had Keith Ellison's business card on him when he was arrested might have had something to do with it. Ellison couldn't keep out of prison years ago, but as the top cop in Minnesota, Ellison seemed to be making it up to him. Strong ties and strange connections. And that's one thing about Minnesota that is really, really crazy to me when you find out like all of these connections, because it's Keith Ellison earlier in that video was saying Tim Pawlenty.
Yeah.
I don't think people really, Tim Pawlenty was related to, is related to the officer, ex-officer, Derek Chauvin.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, his mother and Tim Pawlenty are cousins.
Oh.
Yeah. So, which Tim Pawlenty was our ex-governor of Minnesota. So there's a lot of fucking ties in Minnesota, and people wonder why doesn't shit get done. Now the rest I'm gonna put in, because a lot of this shit brings up some crazy ass memories for me, and I just but I really definitely want people to be aware and to history is here for a reason, and we can't always just forget and forgive and move on. That's not the way that it works, because we have to deal with this situation, with the issue, for us to be able to move on. Because if we're not, that's why we're not getting nowhere, because we don't ever want to deal with the situation. The government doesn't ever want to deal with the core problem. They only want to put a Band-Aid on it. That's why you're seeing, because crime is out rampant for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
There's an uptick in crime for a reason. It's called COVID. It's called the American Rescue Plan. It's called the whatever the first one was called. When you got Trump gave y'all 1,200, and then Biden only gave you 6, and then he got mad because Biden only gave you 6 but promised you 12. And what are we doing? We're paying for it now on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
We're paying for it. People are getting evicted at an all-time high rate. We're not talking about that. You know, they want to say jobs are back up. Unemployment is down. Unemployment is down because can't nobody apply for unemployment.
Talk about it.
You had to work for some period of time, first of all.
Facts.
So if people don't know the rules and the regulations, or if you don't know, do your research, these people are always going to hoodwink us, because that's what they hoodwink us, because they know we're not educated. And it's not that we're even uneducated, we're undereducated, because they never gave us the true history.
Mm-hmm.
They've never given it. America's never gave us facts. They've given us narratives.
Facts.
Narratives. Because honestly, when I look at America, it isn't Disneyland. It's honestly the shit that Stephen King, the shit you was reading in Stephen King, because you see out there, you see zombies.
The dystopian movies they give us are actually our reality, but they feed it to us as if it's something that we're reading, or we're just like, it's fantasy. No, we live it. Wake up, people. You go to the movies to watch the life that you're already fucking living.
Right. You go out, we go see hood movies and we can just open our front doors and watch the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Make it make sense to me. Like, that's why I don't even watch paranormal, because honestly, if I want to go see paranormal, all I got to do is just go walk the streets of Minneapolis at night.
Thanks.
Or if I want to go see a scary movie, fuck go paying $40. We'll go downtown. You see fights. You see people dressed up. You see drama, suspense, terror, horror, comedy. Don't get no better than that. Why would you go pay for it when you go see it for free?
For real.
Go to the Dollar Tree, get you some Zoom Zooms, some Wham Whams. Go down
Don't
there.
go to Family Dollar.
Yeah, definitely don't go to Family. I think they're. You know what's crazy though? Let me think about that for a minute, because I think Dollar Tree and Family Dollar are owned by the same company.
Actually, Dollar Tree bought Family Dollar.
Is that what it is? Because I know in Minnesota they're putting them
Dollar
stores
Tree
together.
Dollar Tree bought Family Dollar.
Okay, is that what it is? Well, yeah. So
yes.
Fuck Dollar Tree too.
Yep.
So don't go to Dollar Tree. Go to Wawa.
Facts.
If you got a Wawa, go to a Quick Trip. I don't know. Go to your local hood store.
See, in Lank out here, we got a bunch of different like immigrant-run dollar stores. So that's where I go shopping, because they do have a lot of reasonable stuff. Like, and I like to support small businesses, so that's where it's at. I have an announcement that I want y'all to know, because last night we did interview Tanika Shannon, who is the mother of Fred Cox, an 18-year-old young boy who was murdered by an officer, plainclothes officer, Michael Shane Hill. So today, please join us as we unite in solidarity with the family of Fred Cox, so we can demand the charges be filed on this murderer, Deputy Michael Shane Hill. And we're doing this with the Davidson Sheriff's Office, and we're also demanding child endangerment charges be filed regarding the child that was grazed by his reckless gunfire that not only killed a wonderful, bright, intelligent, and humble Fred Cox trying to shield a vulnerable woman and child, but also directly impacted this young child forever due to this officer's negligence and ignorance. We demand his termination and an indictment for his arrest. To be the change, we must demand the change. The sheriff for Davidson County Sheriff's Department is Richie T. Simmons. He's the sheriff, and he can be reached at 336-242-2100. I'm going to put that in the comments, and we are also demanding any officer that interrogated Tanika Shannon at any time within 10 days within the first 10 days to be immediately terminated. We call on the immediate resignation of District Attorney Avery Crump. She can be reached at 336-412-7600. I'm going to put this first number in the comments, and then I'm also going to put the number for District Attorney Avery Crump in the comments as well, because these people should not be in these positions. We also demand that the state attorney general launch an investigation into what the procedures, protocols, and practices are in the intricate parts of this police department. And if there was an active cover-up to protect the Davidson County Sheriff's Office, the state of North Carolina AG's office phone number is 919-716-6400. That's 919-716-6400. And when you speak to someone, tell them you're calling to report a color of law violation, people. Here's the number for the state of North Carolina AG's office.
The crazy part for me is that the Fred Cox story is what hurts for me, is that the fact that I do believe they're covering up for Michael Shannon.
Completely.
And I'm going to say why, because when I was doing my homework on Mr. Hill, officer, should be ex-officer, that he's got a fucking history. And they call him a wandering cop. If people don't know what a wandering cop is, that's a cop that wanders from department to department to department.
Yep.
Now there's a fucking reason for that. And I want people to really, really to help Miss Shannon, because she deserves justice.
Mm-hmm.
Fred's kids deserve justice. They deserve accountability. And we need to start showing our kids for the future that their lives do matter. That we're just not out here for stupidity, that we're not out here just to catch charges, that we are out here to change this system that is keeping us chained. Because if you saw that video of Jaheim McMillan as a black, white, Hispanic, whatever you are, father, you should be mad.
It hurts.
Just like how they used that if you were a mother with George Floyd,
yep,
you should have been mad. Well, as a father, you should be mad. Regardless whatever color. Because I know damn well if Jaheim McMillan was y'all's sons, y'all would be out here demanding justice. So let's all solidarity, not charity, and be Jaheim McMillan was our son, and get out here and do something and not go vote. Because I thought it was no justice, no peace, no justice, no streets. And before we wrap up, we have another update that Marvina Haynes, one of the Better Futures, Minnesota, former residents, Rayshawn Bronson, was let out of jail and is at home resting right now. So for the people that did help with that situation, that made calls, did whatever, thank you so much. The fight isn't over yet because we still need to find them housing. We still need to, and I'm going to bring Marvina on, hopefully maybe later on this week. If not for the Urban Conservative, for something, she'll be on some point this week. to talk about an update with that story, so we know more of what's going on and what we can do to help. So any final notes before? I know tomorrow is going to be a crazy. The next 2 days are really going to be talking about elections. So
I talked to Purple Room Politics. We're in talks to talk about elections sometime this week, possibly tonight, possibly later on this week. Wednesday, we have Alcoholics on T. So definitely tune into that. We will be, Alcoholics is a husband and wife couple who like to get drunk and talk about politics. And they give you the deets on what's going on in the politicky world, similar to what we do on T, except we don't get drunk. But
right.
I mean, we could if we wanted to. Who knows? Whatever's in your cup, I ain't judging. However, they keep it cool. They break things down in a way that the average person can understand. If they're not interested in politics, they kind of get you interested. And because we're not like hard pressed and don't have a show geared directly towards politics here on the Leon Black Independent Media, we do like to have Purple Room Politics and Alcoholics on periodically to provide context in a way that we can't, because we're not experts on it. And Alcoholics, I've been on their show a few times. They've been on our show a few times, on our network a few times. So looking forward to having them on T. Stay tuned for that, because they're going to bring the information. They're going to bring the shits, y'all, for Wednesday. So it's a recap of, you know, all the stuff that's going on in the nation, especially here where I reside in Pennsylvania. So stay tuned for that.
So until next time, meditate through the pain and celebrate the ties that bond, liberate our people, and educate our youth so we can stop the bloodshed. Be the change. Win or fail, freedom or jail, heaven or hell, wish me well.
Solid ground, solid might. The Leon Black. Solid ground, solid might. Get your boots on the ground and fight. The Leon Black. Freedom. Freedom of press. Media. Journalists.